Step off the well-trodden paths of China's legendary peaks, and you'll discover a realm where reality blurs into myth. In these hidden mountains, ancient temples perch on mist-shrouded cliffs. Scarlet sandstone formations shimmer at sunrise, and every trail whispers tales of sages, emperors, and mythic creatures. Each of the 10 destinations we explore here is a unique fragment, a living mosaic of geology, history, culture, and adventure. Together, they form a tapestry so breathtakingly surreal it feels as though you've stepped into a dream. Prepare to journey through secret valleys and sacred summits, where every vista invites wonder and every legend comes alive. Tusita Heaven Scenic Area. Perched over Shaoxing's misty plains, Tusita Heaven unfolds along a centuries-old stairway carved from granite. Towering pines frame each switchback, their needles whispering secrets as you climb. When the forest opens, a broad terrace reveals the alabaster halls of Tushita Palace, whose white walls gleam like clouds against the dark green backdrop. Beyond, Longhua Temple's ochre rooftops peek through fluttering prayer flags. At dawn, folds of mist drift between temple towers, transforming the entire mountaintop into a floating sanctuary where sky and stone converge. According to legend, Tang-era monks witnessed luminous bodhisattvas dancing among these cliffs. Believing the summit to mirror the heavenly Tushita realm, they built a modest pavilion around 650 CE. Over subsequent dynasties, emperors and pilgrims contributed halls, scripture libraries, and stone bridges. In 1612, a devastating fire reduced much of the complex to embers. Local villagers and clergy then rebuilt the main halls in granite, preserving ancient inscriptions that still glow in torchlight. Each year, on the 15th day of the 4th lunar month, the Lantern Festival bathes the palace in soft, golden light. Villagers hand-paint silk lanterns inscribed with prayers, releasing them at dusk so they drift upward like floating stars. Throughout the year, at first light, the temple bell tolls 5 times, once for each sense, calling devotees into a silent tea ceremony. For modern explorers, a pre-dawn climb yields a breathtaking sunrise above the clouds. Wander into hidden grottos where monks chant sutras by candlelight. Don sturdy hiking shoes. The final 100 steps are steep and worn smooth by generations of faithful. At midday, descend to the monastery's vegetarian guest house, sampling stir-fried mountain greens and hand-pressed tofu before returning to the stairway's embrace. Here, every breath feels like a prayer, and each footstep resonates with centuries of devotion. Lingshan Grand Buddha Scenic Area. On the shore of serene Taihu Lake stands the colossal Lingshan Grand Buddha, an 88-meter bronze Amitabha, whose tranquil gaze surveys a landscape of water and sky. Its simple yet majestic silhouette rises from a lotus-shaped plinth, while the adjacent Brahma Palace spreads out like a lotus blossom, its gilded dragons and lotus-carved columns glinting in the sunlight. At the Buddha's feet, a reflective pool dotted with scarlet lotus blooms transforms the statue into a floating vision each morning. When mist curls off the lake at dawn, the Buddha appears to hover between two worlds. Inspired by an 18th century prophecy that Taihu's mists would birth a guardian of peace, local patrons commissioned the statue in 1990. Masters from Suzhou forged a custom bronze alloy resistant to corrosion and temperature swings. In 1996, during the consecration ceremony, witnesses described an uncanny calm settling over the lake, a silent testament to Amitabha's compassionate presence. Twice daily, at sunrise and sunset, the lotus offering ceremony unfolds. Saffron-robed monks place freshly cut lotus blossoms at the Buddha's base, each bloom symbolizing a prayer for harmony. As dusk deepens, the Dharma light, sound and light performance animates the statue's outline with synchronized LEDs and flowing water jets. Visitors stand in hushed wonder as chanting reverberates off marble walls. For a meditative encounter, book a guided session inside the Buddha's internal shrine, where relics of eminent masters lie encased behind glass. Follow the spiraling ramp to brush your hand against the Buddha's toe, a ritual said to bestow mental clarity. Early birds can also embark on lake boat tours, gliding beneath the Buddha's watchful gaze amid drifting lotus fields. The adjacent Golden Lotus Garden, open April to October, invites sunset strolls among thousands of illuminated blossoms, their cool fragrance drifting through the evening air. Standing beneath this monumental guardian, you feel enveloped by a profound peace that resonates from lake to sky. Mount Laojun. High atop the Funyu Range, Mount Laojun looms like an ancient sentinel guarding the sky. Legend whispers that Laozi himself retreated to a secret grotto here, seeking solitude to pen the Tao's first verses on slender bamboo slips. Villagers still tell of a hidden cave behind a cascading waterfall, only revealed when morning mists part, and of faint echoes of chanting that drift down the mountainside at dusk. Pilgrims since the Han Dynasty have traced the sage's footsteps, carving narrow stone steps into the granite slopes, each worn smooth by centuries of reverent passage. At dawn, the summit rewards early climbers with a sea of clouds panorama unrivaled in China. As sunlight fractures the horizon, rolling mists glow rose gold, revealing jagged peaks that float like islands in a vaporous ocean. Beneath your feet, carpets of purple asters and golden daylilies blanket hidden ledges. Above, gnarled pines, bent by wind and rain, etch dramatic silhouettes against pastel skies. Along the dragon's tail ridge, each viewpoint unveils a fresh marvel. A pair of rock formations known as twin dragons, twisting skyward, or the Whispering Rocks, whose hollowed surfaces channel alpine breezes into haunting melodies. In summer, hidden waterfalls surge through narrow clefts, their silken ribbons glinting in dappled light. In autumn, the air chills and leaves turn fiery crimson, turning every trail into a living canvas. For the classic tea house run, begin your ascent before first light. The steep 3-hour trail leads to Jigwan Cave, where local farmers brew jasmine-scented chrysanthemum tea over smoky stoves. Cradling a warm porcelain cup, you stand above the clouds as dawn breaks, an experience that awakens body and soul. Dress in layered clothing to adapt to shifting temperatures, and pack trekking poles to navigate uneven stone steps. Though challenging, the reward is a serene solitude and vistas few glimpse. Perched above the world, you feel Laozi's ancient wisdom echo in every whisper of wind. Mount Qingcheng. Nestled amid emerald bamboo groves, Mount Qingcheng exudes a hush so profound it feels like stepping into another realm. Shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy in emerald beams, illuminating moss-draped stones and time-worn lanterns that guard hidden pathways. Gentle streams thread through the forest, their burble mingling with distant temple bells, while pavilions hover above jade pools that mirror the sky. In misty mornings, clouds weave through bamboo stalks, blurring boundaries so that trees appear to float in an endless green sea. Celebrated as Taoism's birthplace in the 2nd century CE, Qingcheng's slopes once hosted Zhang Daoling's alchemical experiments. Scholars believe he distilled his first elixirs here, inscribing founding texts on cavern walls now guarded by silent stone figures. Many original Han and Tang-era shrines remain intact, their vermilion pillars softened by centuries of lichen and incense smoke. Embark on the temple-to-temple trail, a half-day loop linking Shangqing Palace, Tianxi Cave, and Laojun Pavilion. Along the way, pause at family-run tea houses where bamboo-steamed rice and fragrant chrysanthemum infusions await. At Tianxi Cave, join a sunrise qigong session. Under the canopy's green glow, instructors guide you through flowing movements that align breath with the mountain's heartbeat. For deeper discovery, hire a local guide to lead you down narrow side trails toward secluded grotto shrines, where faded Taoist inscriptions hint at millennia of devotion. In Qingcheng's living cathedral of bamboo, each breath draws you closer to the timeless harmony of earth and spirit. Nushu Mountain, scenic area. Tucked beneath terraced vineyards that ripple like emerald waves, Nushu Mountain holds a world both above and below the earth. At its base, rows of Cabernet grapes bask in southern Jiangsu's warm sun, their vines tracing the mountain's gentle curves. Yet, venture inside, and you enter the vast, subterranean Foding Palace, an underground sanctuary carved into solid rock, where vaulted ceilings soar overhead and candlelit corridors lead to silent alcoves. Above ground, stone steps ascend in concentric tiers to the great Usnissa Hall, a towering structure crowned by a gilded spire that glints for miles against the skyline. This juxtaposition of sunlit vineyards and hushed caverns embodies Neosho's unique harmony of earth, culture, and faith. In the winter of 2015, during routine excavations for an expansion project, workers stumbled upon a crystalline bead nestled within layers of ancient rubble. Polished by centuries underground, it radiated an uncanny inner glow. Monks on site declared it a pearl of the Buddha, a celestial gift long hidden. Today, it rests within a glass stupa at the heart of Foding Palace, its soft luminescence visible round the clock, drawing pilgrims who believe a glimpse can grant clarity to the troubled mind. Descend into Foding Palace, and you'll find walls painted with swirling Buddhist mandalas that stretch across arched ceilings. The air holds the faint scent of sandalwood incense perpetually burning. Ascend the terraced stairway to Usnissa Hall and note the intricate dragon-carved balustrades, each guardian sculpture, with eyes inlaid by translucent jade, seems poised to spring from stone. As dusk falls, rows of crimson lanterns ignite within the hall, their flickering light echoing the temple's timeless rhythm. In Neosho's deep halls and sunlit heights, you feel the pulse of centuries of devotion echo in every stone. Mount Danxia. Mount Danxia emerges from Guangdong's subtropical plains as a living canvas painted in every shade of red. Over 1.5 billion years, layers of sandstone and conglomerate have been sculpted by wind and water into towering cliffs, slender pillars, and grand natural bridges. At dawn, sunlight strikes the rock faces at just the right angle to set them ablaze in molten orange and crimson, an effect so surreal that early explorers believed they had discovered flaming mountains. Paths of ochre dust wind through narrow ravines, inviting travelers to wander among columns that seem hand-carved by titanic forces beyond comprehension. Local legend speaks of a celestial dragon wounded in a skyward battle, who fell to earth at Danxia. Its body, they say, formed the rippling ridges and curving peaks that undulate across the landscape. At the famous Sleeping Dragon viewpoint, visitors can trace the head, torso, and tail in stone contours, an uncanny illusion that stirs the imagination with ancient myth. For photographers, Danxia's trail network offers an ever-changing stage. The Redstone Grove reveals spindly hoodoo formations. The Rainbow Bridge arcs over a narrow gorge like a natural cathedral. And the Yangyuan stone provides sweeping panoramas at sunrise, when fog drifts through canyons and sunbeams carve chiaroscuro patterns into rock. Amid Danxia's fiery ridges and whispering canyons, every shade of red speaks to the Earth's patient artistry. Janmen Pass. Janmen Pass cleaves through sheer limestone cliffs, forming a narrow corridor where dawn mist coils around towering walls like silent sentinels. Beneath your feet, centuries-old granite steps, worn smooth by endless footsteps, ascend toward a vermilion gate that seems to float between sky and stone. From cliff-edge balconies, you peer into a jade-green river snaking through the gorge's heart, its waters murmuring against time-polished rocks. Rays of early sunlight fracture through the mist, casting shifting patterns of light and shadow that dance across the weathered facade, as if the mountain itself breathes with hidden life. The air here carries a hush, broken only by distant echoes of dripping water and the soft whisper of wind through cracks in the rock. In 228 AD, Zhuge Liang, brilliant strategist of the Three Kingdoms, deployed ingenious wooden oxen contraptions here to sever enemy supply lines, repelling a vast invading force. Stone tablets etched into the cliff face memorialize his tactics, the graceful calligraphy still gleaming when lit by torchlight. Local guides recite these accounts as they lead you past relics of ancient guard posts and arrow slits carved into the rock, testaments to a time when control of this pass meant dominion over entire regions. Each autumn, Janmen's cliffs resound with the clash of steel during the Sword Dance Festival. Performers don historic armor and leap across narrow ledges, executing choreographed routines that echo battlefield formations. Their gleaming blades catch the sun in rhythmic arcs, and the metallic clang reverberates through the canyon, blurring past and present, war and art. For adrenaline seekers, certified guides offer rappelling excursions down the very trails once reserved for elite soldiers. Harnessed securely, you descend sheer cliff faces, fingertips tracing layers of limestone formed over geological epochs, heart pounding in concert with the gorge's ancient pulse. Standing within these towering walls, you sense the echo of shields and strategies etched into stone, feeling history's heartbeat in every breath. Kunlun Mountains. The Kunlun Mountains stretch like a celestial backbone across western China, their snow-laced peaks piercing the heavens. Vast glaciers carve deep valleys that cradle sapphire-hued lakes, their still surfaces reflecting towering spires in perfect symmetry. Sparse juniper groves cling to rocky terraces, while summer wildflowers, azure poppies and golden gentians, dot alpine meadows with bursts of color. With every inhale, the thin, crisp air fills you with electric clarity, and every horizon line seems to dissolve into boundless potential. According to Taoist lore, the Queen Mother of the West resides high in these peaks, her jade palace hidden beyond impassable passes. Shamans make pilgrimages here, draping prayer flags at wind-swept shrines and leaving incense bundles in cliffside niches, seeking divine wisdom in the thin mountain air. At the foot of Liu Shan, 7,167 meters, yurt camps welcome intrepid travelers for multi-day horseback treks across tundra-like plateaus. As night falls, the Milky Way unfurls in breathtaking clarity overhead, mirrored by frozen lakes that lie like polished glass. Sleeping under this vast canopy, you feel suspended between Earth and cosmos. Tajik shepherds open their encampments with warm hospitality, offering aged yak milk cheese and sweet apricot brandy distilled by hand. Gathered around crackling fires, elders share Silk Road sagas and tales of mythical beasts said to roam hidden valleys, weaving a tapestry of culture and legend under the starlit sky. Here, at the roof of the world, myths and landscapes converge, leaving you poised between the mortal and the divine. Kongtong Mountain. Kongtong Mountain rises abruptly from the rolling grasslands of Gansu, its limestone cliffs carved into graceful arches and jagged spires by millennia of wind and rain. At sunrise, the first light spills over the flying Rainbow Bridge, a natural stone arch that frames distant peaks in gold and rose. Narrow terraces carved into the rock near jade-green pools host clumps of bamboo and pines, each tree's silhouette mirrored perfectly in still water. Mist often drifts through cliffside grottos, lending the entire range an ethereal glow, as if the mountains themselves breathe ancient secrets into the dawn. The winding trail, hewn from living rock, leads past wind-whispered inscriptions and moss-draped shrines, each turn revealing a new vista. A lone cedar clinging to a cliff's edge, a waterfall plunging into a hidden basin, or the crimson banners of a Taoist pavilion peeking through bamboo stalks. Legend claims the Yellow Emperor ascended Kongtong's peaks to meet the immortal Guangchengzi, receiving teachings that shaped Chinese civilization. Today, stone steps, exactly 108 in number, wind to Taihei Palace, where vermilion pillars stand beneath eaves painted in dragon motifs. Each carved beam seems to hum with the echoes of ancient dialogues between emperor and sage. Devotees begin at dawn, chanting as they climb the labyrinthine flight of stairs. Along the way, they pause at cliffside niches filled with incense coils and prayer candles, offering silent homage before continuing toward the summit. The journey takes roughly 2 hours and culminates at the Sky Mirror, a polished granite platform where, legend says, the divine realm reflects back to earthly travelers. Every midsummer, Kongtong hosts the Three Religions ceremony, uniting Taoist, Buddhist, and Confucian rites in a single day. Drums echo across the valley as monks, priests, and scholars perform synchronized rituals, an evocative testament to China's syncretic heritage. Here, between stone inscriptions and whispering pines, you feel the convergence of myth and mountain in every reverent breath. Flaming mountains. Stretching like molten waves at the edge of the Taklamakan Desert, the flaming mountains glow in fiery hues that shift from deepest crimson at dawn to molten orange by midday. Wind-carved ravines and fissures ripple across the sandstone ridges, creating patterns that seem to flicker like living flames. Early explorers described the landscape as burning hills, and when sunlight strikes the iron-rich rock at just the right angle, the entire range appears ablaze. Beneath cobalt skies, narrow passes reveal hidden contrasts. Small oases of tamarisk and reed-lined pools reflecting the sky, forging magical pockets of cool tranquility amid the scorching rock. Local camel caravans speak of the Devil's Tongue Ridge, sharp-edged sandstone fins that jut into the sky like flames frozen in stone. By late afternoon, the rock faces emit radiant heat, causing distant mirages that dance above the ridges. Travelers often leave offerings of water gourds at rock altars, honoring the land's fierce spirit. Immortalized in the classic novel Journey to the West, the Flaming Mountains tested Sun Wukong's cunning when he borrowed a magical fan to quell the inferno. pilgrims retrace this legend, standing before the Fan Temple, where a relic fan is displayed under protective glass, said to be a fragment of the divine implement that tamed the flames. Best experienced at dawn, when cooler temperatures allow for clarity of color and safer passage. Join a guided camel trek through narrow gullies, pausing at Red Flame Arch for sunrise photography. Afterward, venture to the nearby Bezeklik Thousand Buddha Caves, ancient cliff carvings that offer shade and a glimpse of early Buddhist art in stark contrast to the fiery exterior. Amid these scarlet ridges and whispering mirages, you glimpse a world where Earth itself seems to breathe fire, and you stand at the center of its awe-inspiring pulse. As our journey through these hidden mountains draws to a close, you've wandered through realms where scarlet cliffs glow like embers and ancient temples drift atop clouds. These landscapes blur the line between myth and reality, inviting you to step off the beaten path and discover your own story among misty ridges and sacred shrines. Which of these dreamlike vistas stirred your imagination the most? And where will your next adventure lead you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you crave more untold wonders and breathtaking journeys, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.